I was going to start talking, but she started talking over the top. So just 1 minute, please. Good morning, Higashi Shinjuku. Today, I am catching a train to Kamakura. Kamakura is a small town, 24 minutes south of Yokohama, which is also 24 minutes south of Tokyo. It's a really old, small town with lovely shrines, and it's just been recommended for me as somewhere that I should go and see because it's close by and it's a bit different and it gets me out of Tokyo. So that's where I'm going today. It is a balmy 26 degrees top temperature today, which will be slightly different to yesterday. It does tend to fluctuate quite a bit here. I don't want to catch this one because it's not what I'm following on Google Maps, and that if I don't follow what Google Maps tells me to do, I get completely bamboozled and lost. So this is Kamakura. I've come 44 kilometers southwest of Tokyo, and there is a great shrine here called Kokuin Shrine, I think is how you say it. There is a statue of the great Buddha there, which is apparently one of the reasons people come here. All I've got to do is find it now. It seems a rather ornate structure for a clock. It's just a clock. It's a clock with a little roof and a tower at the bottom of it. A bit over the top for a clock, I would have thought. Meanwhile, here is a place that definitely doesn't sound like a jazz club. Jazz Club Daphne. The names get even sillier. Just back there, Dr. Beaver. So according to this sign, the Kotokuin temple is what we want, and it's up there. But look at the top one up there. It says Yokohama Beach. There's a beach here. Who would have even thought? There's the strangest road surface in this tunnel. It's like asphalt, but it's got white rocks in it, and it stops there. It's only for the portion of the tunnel, and then it goes back to normal. All it seems to do is create a whole lot of noise in that tunnel. I wonder what it's for. Look at this gorgeous little street behind with the trees all over the top, like a canopy. And it's so narrow. It's just kind of what I've always expected Japan outside of Tokyo would look like. Unfortunately, a lot of Japan outside of Tokyo looks just like Tokyo, so you've really got to get outside the cities to find somewhere that looks like this. It's completely different. All these trees. The air is wonderful. The air is so fresh. It's beautiful. This is, in a number of ways, quite different to Tokyo and the bigger cities. And by Australian standards, it's not what we would consider a small town, but apartments are not king here. This whole street is lined with individual houses. Well, that's a cafe, but the ones next door are houses. All the rest of them down that way and over here, houses. That's one house. By Japanese standards, some of these houses are actually quite big. I'm assuming that nobody walks up these stairs anymore. Can you imagine the public liability insurance nightmare that would be in Australia? Those things would have been blocked off immediately and the stairs removed. These temples are quite a bit further away than you think they might be when you set off, but I'm actually super glad about that because it's totally worth seeing this part of the town. So this is a mistake I've made quite a number of times now, misreading Japanese signage. There was a sign back there at those lights, which I just got some footage of, that had a line and an arrow and 900 meters. And I keep misreading these as go straight ahead and turn in 900 meters as opposed to turn here and go 900 meters. So for those who do that, and I'm so glad it's not just me, there's another sign here saying go back and turn at the lights. I thought it was just me. I thought it was me looking at these things and thinking I'm just a dick because I keep getting this wrong. But clearly based on that sign, I'm not the only dick who keeps getting it wrong. This street, this little tiny street, also has what appears to be some extraordinarily large houses by Japanese standards. Some of them are private houses. Some of them also have two doors. They would be a family home on the bottom floor and another family living on the top floor. So not all of them that look like they're massively oversized houses are actually private individual residences. Further back up the street, a prime example of how tiny some Japanese living conditions are. The building's about no bigger than that. 3 doors on the bottom, 3 doors on the top. Look at that beautiful house. Isn't that gorgeous? There's more. They're probably not legit old houses, but they look nice. Yeah, so there's these properties back there, and they're probably all over Japan. They would be no wider than one of these houses, but they have 3 doors along. So you've got these tiny little apartments that would be no wider than a door and a small window. Going back probably 5 meters, absolute max 5 meters. Maybe not even. Maybe 3 meters wide, if that, 2.5 meters wide, and that's the whole apartment. It'd probably be one room, tiny little bathroom of sorts. That'd be it. And there'd be so many people who live, particularly in the big cities, Tokyo and Yokohama, who live like that, not like this. Of course, is there a car? Of course, it doesn't matter where you go in Japan, you're always going to find one of those. Absolutely everywhere. They're in pristine condition. They look like they get cleaned every day. I'm sure they don't, but they look like they get polished and cleaned every day. Almost always stocked. There's very few occasions where I've gone to one that doesn't have what I want, and they're everywhere in the most out of the way places. And oddly enough, as soon as you come around the corner and reach the front of the shrine, the tourist trap starts. This is where you run in the other direction. Don't pull your wallet out, just keep going towards what it is you're looking for. Don't go anywhere where the word souvenir is on the front. I'm guessing it's fairly self-explanatory what this is, but just in case it's not, this is the giant Buddha. Pretty much does what it says on the tin. It's fairly big. I'll go and stand a bit closer to it and get a sense of how big it really is. That is how big it is. Of course, in doing this, what I've actually done is join the hoarding masses in spending more time filming stuff than actually looking at it, but you get that, right? That's the way it goes. There she is, giant Buddha. I think I might be in the way of some people's pictures, but I don't really care. That's the giant Buddha. Pretty giant, hey? Pretty big. Pretty impressively does what it says on the tin, as the saying goes. Big legs. Please do not enter this area. Looks absolutely massive and imposing from the back. You can't even see the top of her from the back. I always say her because all I can ever think of is the Buddha character from Monkey, which was portrayed by a woman and looked like a woman and sounded like a woman, even in the English dub version. 20 yen entrance fee to go down to something. 20 yen. It's like 20 cents to get in there. What could it be? Somewhere else for you to deposit some money. Goen. So there he is, the giant Buddha. One of the things I hate the most about these tourist trap places is every time I want to get some footage or take a photo, there's always some bastard standing in the way. And I realise that I'm probably one of those bastards for everyone else here. It kind of balances it all out a little bit. These are the intersections where it starts getting a tiny little bit confusing because it's four-way cross. I've come out of this street over here. There's signs on this street over here that point me towards, I think, where I am going. See, I couldn't see those from over there, so I was going to get lost. I was going to turn the wrong way. This is quite a common occurrence in Japan. They do signpost everything very well, but if you are just a dumb Western tourist and you're suffering visual overload, which tends to happen, you don't always know where to look. You don't always know where you're not looking. And if you try to hurry to keep up with the crowd, keep out of the way, you tend to, if you're me, you tend to miss the pertinent. And there's a mini Mayfair. It's an English mini from the 80s. So you skim signs to get the gist of what you need to get the gist of, but that frequently means you actually miss the key message, which may or may not revolve around where you actually have to go to get something or to get somewhere. It's all fun and games. Could you even begin to imagine what would happen in Australia if this kind of thing was allowed to exist? A tiny little river, creek, stormwater drain, whatever it happens to be, that is just left completely open. There would be people outraged on social media and councils would be up in arms about all the public liability insurance. And you know why? Because we've turned into a society of stupid people who don't want to take accountability for themselves, for their own actions, for their own inattention, for their own children. It's always got to be someone else. We've got to put up a fence for the stupid people so the stupid people don't fall in the very, very obvious hole on the side of the road. It's become a bit ridiculous, isn't it? Especially when you're in a place like this where you see how pretty something like that can look, how in character, how much it works. And it would never be allowed to happen in Australia because Australia has become an absurd nanny state where everyone is outraged, everybody sues everyone else, and no one is trusted to do anything. And that's a tiny little bit fucked up if you ask me. Somehow, maybe just luck, I just keep finding these places that get my step count up and account for the fact that I haven't been to the gym for 4 weeks, and therefore this is a good workout. Steps or hills. They really loved building these shrines up steps or hills back in the day. But with one small difference with this one. It's in the side of a mountain and there's a tunnel into it. So that means I don't have to walk up that hill. Oh, joy. Joy and rapture. Might be really, really nice up that hill. Might be really lovely up there, but I've had it with hills lately. Check this out, the inside of the Shinjuku NS Sky building. How cool is this?